Good afternoon out there, fellow shopkeepers and do-it-yourselfers. Today we're working on this 2006 16,000 pound trailer. Just doing a little bit of maintenance on it. People say, well, it ain't broke down, it don't need nothing. Well, I beg to differ. This suspension type is what they call a slipper spring. It's got an eyelet on the front, on the leading edge of the spring, and the back just rides up in that pocket. Of course, that is supposed to be kind of level, and that bolt there just holds the spring up in the equalizer. But you see, the problem is that bushing is wore clear out. These bolts, these are called a wet bolt. You're supposed to be able to grease it from that side of the bolt and grease go into that bushing. Well, it's not been able to take grease for some time, and while it is wore out, I'm fixing it before it's junk, or well, before there's a problem anyway. And so we got to take the front bolt out, take that bolt out, and take that bolt out, and you get the thing apart. Then you might have to use a little bit of heat. There's a plastic bushing that goes in the eyelet. Most of it's gone. There's a little bit of wear on the spring where it was rubbing on the top of the equalizer, but that's pretty normal. The hole is still good and round, that's okay. That bolt is like a carriage bolt, so you don't have to use a wrench to hold it. And the bushing, again, with the front eyelet is gone. And that's how the spring sets in the slipper joint in the back spring hanger, and it just rubs up there on the top. And there's no problems there. And in case you was wondering, yeah, I showed you that side over there put together, and this side over here is taken apart. Putting new wheel bearings on it, new brakes. But this is the equalizer removed from the carrier. And here is a new wet bolt. See, it's like a carriage bolt. You're able to grease it from this end, and grease comes out that little hole there. That greases this bushing in there. And here's the old, that's still a little warm. There's the old bolt. It's almost a problem. You get new front spring eyelet bolts and nuts, and these are what's left of the plastic bushings that goes into the front eyelet of the leaf spring. Got new bolts for that. Single use self-locking nuts, and that's a self-locking nut that goes on your wet bolt. The brakes that we're using are Dexter. These have been, they were takeoffs. Somebody decided they wanted to put hydraulic brakes on there, so we got these and only had like maybe 2 weeks of use on them. You got 4 or 5 bolts rather that goes around the perimeter. You take the whole thing off. These are self-adjusting brake shoes, so they've got extra hardware in there that you don't have on a normal, a typical electric brake setup. These are the brakes that I took off of this trailer, and they're getting pretty thin, used pretty good. But those are also self-adjusting. Got the self-adjuster cable and that. But these are the original brakes to this trailer, and you can see that they did not have the self-adjusting hardware on there. Looks like the adjuster fell out, but that's all right. It's a different kind, but anyway, you see that it doesn't have the hardware that this one has. It's got a different style spring there. The adjuster has got an arm that comes in on it down there on the bottom. There you can see it. This arm here rotates that wheel as this moves out, and it pushes against that and spins that wheel and rotates it. That's what keeps it adjusted. Most of your automotive applications, rear brake shoes, will have a cable like that, or some system that is very similar to that. But anyway, we've got new brakes that we're putting on there. We're replacing the wheel bearings. There was no problem with them, but the trailer's got about 30,000 miles on it since I serviced those bearings, and so we want to make sure and get them ready to go again for another 30,000. Those are the bearings that came out of it. The spindles look good. We'll put new seal in there, and the drum looks good. We'll drive them races out, put new races in since we got new bearings and races. And new equalizer, wet bolt, and bushings. I've got the bushings hid somewhere that go in the front leaf spring eyelet, or in the front eyelet of the leaf spring. And this thing will be like brand new. Anyways, guys watching, thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe. Comment if you will.